take the second part of schizophrenia. I'll share my PowerPoint with you and we start. Previous time, girls, we discussed that schizophrenia is a person who is diagnosed with the schizophrenia is a person who hears delusions and hallucinations. Delusions and hallucinations. And we discussed the reasons for schizophrenia. We said sometimes it's genetics, inherited, or maybe because of childhood abuse or sexual abuse or any trauma a child has faced when he was young, and then he kept it inside himself, and then when he grew up he tried to distract himself from thinking or focusing on this trauma, so he started to separate himself from reality and have schizophrenia. Schizophrenia doesn't mean to have more than one personality, okay? Dissociative disorder means to have more than one personality, but schizophrenia is when a person hears delusions and hallucination. This is the second part of schizophrenia and mood disorder. We'll take the mood disorders. In the mood disorders, girls, I want you to focus with me because you're just going to join college after a few months. You, as we can say, you'll go to the outer world. You'll see different people than those you have been raised with at class or in family or school. So you might meet a person who is diagnosed with a mood disorders. Mood disorder, what is mood disorder? As we know, that disorder is this an order, not the normal order. It's this, okay? So he says to you that we all experience mood swings. Yeah, sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. So it's okay. But but some people, okay, will be more than that, more than the normal mood swings. So everyone suffers from mood swings. Sometimes you find yourself happy, this next moment you find yourself sad or you feel miserable. Okay, sometimes you feel discouraged. Okay, so you feel like you can control your emotions if you go out with your friends, if you you talk with your mother, you talk with your relative, you do anything new, it might make you feel better. So these feelings will pass. Okay, does it happen with you girls or not? Grade 12? What do you do when you feel sad? What do you do normally when you feel sad, girls?
Maybe you talk to someone like your mom,
Yes.
your friend, someone you love, so you can tell what happened in order to give you what to do.
Yes, yes. And sometimes just talking relieves your negative feelings. But what if you cannot resist these feelings? What will happen if these feelings last forever? God forbid, these emotions will stop you or hamper you from function effectively. It means that there is a problem. If you cannot stop these feelings, it means there is a problem. Okay? One of the first disorders, mood disorders, is major depressive disorder, which we call it depression. Major depressive disorder. So we hear, every now and then we hear someone says, I'm depressed, I have depression, I'm depressed. No, it is not that easy. Having depression is not that easy, okay? And you cannot get out of it easily. Those who suffer major depressive disorders spends at least 2 weeks feeling depressed, sad, anxious, fatigued, and agitated. How? They have a reduced ability to function and interact with others. They stop. I cannot deal with people. Okay, so they suffer from feelings of uneasiness. It's not easy for me to deal with others. Okay, I'm always sad. Okay, and this will increase, okay, an intense suicidal despair. He starts with sad feelings, and these sad feelings or apathy increases and intenses to go to suicidal despair. To be diagnosed as depression, a person who will be diagnosed as a depressed person, okay, has to find at least or share at least 4 of these symptoms. A way of a person who has lost someone he loves. Yani, if God forbid you lose someone you love, you may face these symptoms for a long time. But there is a reason that you lost someone you love. But what if you didn't lose someone you love, but you found yourself for 2 weeks, you cannot eat well, you cannot sleep well, you can't think well, you have lack of concentration, you cannot take a decision, lack of energy, think about suicide, feel worthless or feel guilty. If you share 4 of these symptoms, God forbid not you, if anyone shares 4 of these symptoms, it means that he suffers from depression. Okay, again, the first one of mood disorders is depression, major depressive disorder. A person who suffers from major depressive disorder spends at least 2 weeks feeling 4 of these symptoms. Lack of eating, sleeping, thinking, concentrating, decision making, lacking energy, thinking about suicide, feeling worthless or guilty. Depressive disorder, mood change, sleep changes, appetite changes, suicidal ideation, cognitive change, negative self-evaluation, negative symptoms. This is a person who is diagnosed with depressive disorder. Then the second part, and you have to be aware of this second, as we can say, disorder, mood disorder. A person who suffers from bipolar disorder. What is a bipolar disorder? And the bipolar disorder starts at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19. A person excessively and inappropriately happy or unhappy. Sometimes you find them extremely happy and energetic, and he feels optimistic, like the whole world is his or her world. And suddenly, a depression. He is depressed or she is depressed. They cannot leave their bed. A person who alter between the extremity of the 2 parts. Yani sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. It happens. But we are not extremely happy and extremely sad. This is a bipolar disorder. Sometimes you call your friend, she is in a high elation of happiness and wow, and she makes crazy actions, and then the next day she is facing a hopeless depression. Okay? This bipolar disorder is divided into 2 parts. 2 parts. This bipolar disorder, the second mood disorder is divided into, number 1, the manic phase. A person when he's manic, from the word mania. Okay? Elation, extreme confusion, distractibility, racing thoughts, exaggerated sense of self-esteem, engages in irresponsible behavior, like what shopping spree, insulting remarks. Again, a person who suffers from a bipolar disorder will go to 2 phases. The first phase is the manic phase. Manic from the word mania. Okay? Manic phase is when a person, he says or he claims that he is an optimistic person. Let's love the life. Let's love life. We only live once. Okay. We only live once, but we do not live it like this way. So she or he, okay, engages in irresponsible behavior. So he starts to take risks, okay, and adventurous decisions, okay. Maybe he gets into insulting remarks, a person who bullies everyone around him and he thinks that this is fun. She goes into a shopping spree and she spends every money all the money she has, okay. Maniacs are not easy to detect. You will not discover a person who is diagnosed with a manic phase of bipolar disorder because he seems what I'm living my life. He seems like he is in touch with reality and unending sense of optimism. I'm an optimistic person. You are not funny. If your friend makes a very dangerous decision and then when you blame her, she says to you, you're not fun, you are not optimistic person, you shouldn't think twice. No, we should think twice, by the way. Symptoms of mania, a person who's diagnosed with a mania phase of a bipolar disorder here. Sudden change in energy and activity. And as you see, the girl she's in a dangerous situation like this one too. Impaired judgment, mood changes, speech disruption, change pattern. She's thinking and then she changes her thought pattern. Okay? Then the depressive phase. Depressive phase, because as we said, a person who suffers from bipolar disorder goes from high elation to depression. Are you with me, grade 12?
Yes, miss.
So after this, the phase of mania, he goes to the phase of depression. Okay, so during a manic episode, a person may behave as he or she needs less sleep, and the activity level typically increases, as does the loudness and the frequency with which he or she speaks. So then he goes to the depressive phase because he has gave too much effort in the manic phase. So suddenly, feelings of failure. I'm a failure. Sinfulness. Oh, he feels that he is worthlessness, which comes from the feeling of sinfulness. Despair, there is no hope. So sinfulness, I'm full with sins. I'm worthless. Will take him to the phase of despair. And then unresponsiveness. The behavior of someone who is depressed in a bipolar disorder is essentially the same as someone with a major depressive disorder. So he might face lack of eating, lack of sleeping, lack of energy, like a person who is diagnosed with major depressive disorder that we took today, mood disorder. And that in the depressive phase, bipolar depression is likely to involve irritability, guilt, unpredictable mood swings, feelings of restlessness. So he finds himself that he's getting too fat because of lack of sleep, lack of energy, lack of movement. People with bipolar depression also tend to move slowly, speak slowly, move slowly, speak slowly, sleep a lot, and gain weight. Depressive phase. The manic phase here, a very active person to a depressive phase. Bipolar disorder symptoms, mania, depression. Talking excessively, racing thoughts, hostility, less sleep, delusion. Again, racing thoughts. When a person has too many thoughts in his mind. Hostility, he feels like he makes fun of everyone. He doesn't care about others' feelings. He doesn't care about other thoughts. He doesn't sleep enough. He has delusions. This is the mania phase. The depression phase, extreme fatigue, so tired. She cannot get out of bed. Memory loss, prolonged sadness, poor nutrition. So second disorder today, second mood disorder is bipolar disorder. Third one, seasonal affective disorder. So yes, it happens that sometimes when winter starts, people get sad for no reason. Sometimes when summer comes, people feel happy for no reason. It is a mood disorder, seasonal affective disorder, SAD. People who suffer from sadness when looking at the mid-February landscape, when the sky is gray or brown, or when it's raining and they cannot see the sun, they tend to sleep and eat excessively during their depressed periods. They say that it's because of the melatonin hormone may play a role, because the less light available, the more melatonin is secreted by the brain. They say that the sun is a reason for this melatonin hormone. So when he cannot see the sun, he will face lack in this hormone, so he will feel sad. Okay, so it can also happen with people in the middle of the summer, those people who don't like summer. Symptoms of SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. Individual experience with SAD, they face what? They have social problems like finding it difficulty to be around others, negative thoughts, tendency to sleep more, fatigue, overeating. How can they deal with it? They eat a well-balanced diet. They go for walks. At home, they sit near to the window where they can see the sun. So, mood disorders. We took today major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, and seasonal affective disorder. Depressed people draw illogical conclusions about themselves. They always see themselves, unworthy. They blame themselves. That's why people who suffer from mood disorders, maybe their parents and then themselves put themselves in a circle of or in a loop. I don't deserve. So but he or she doesn't act that he doesn't deserve. No, he acts as if he trusts himself so much, he is faking, or she is faking it. Okay, so any problem happens to them, they consider it as a catastrophe, not like any problem that happens to anyone. Their sensitivity to problems is higher than yours. Okay, so depression, for example, is caused by a feeling of learned helplessness. They cannot help themselves. They feel helplessness. When they find a problem, they just sink into it. They cannot figure solutions or think of solutions or think of any other thing. They sink in helplessness. A person who faces depression or who goes into depression believes that he has no control over events in his life, and it is useless even to try. Okay, so reasons for depression is a person who finds himself in a loop of helplessness, and he believes that he has no control on events. And sometimes, as we said, in all the psychological problems or diseases, genes are responsible somehow. So if maybe he inherited the gene of depression from a member of his family. Okay, and then they say some chemical substances in the brain, or in hormones, serotonin and noradrenaline. These are hormones. Noradrenaline. Yes, noradrenaline from adrenaline. Okay, and genetic factors and faulty brain structures. So any one of these could be a reason a person faces depression. Girls, are you here?
Yes,
Grade
ma'am.
12?
Yes.
So girls,
Yes, ma'am.
those people who face from mood disorder, depression, bipolar disorder, seasonal is more or less, not the strength of, not as strong as depression, major depressive disorder, or bipolar disorder. They face suicidal thoughts, suicidal thoughts. So what is the relation between suicide and depression? Depressive thoughts, a person who is in the depressive phase of bipolar disorder, and a person who faces a major depressive disorder. They have thoughts about suicide, and some of them take action to commit suicide. Why? Why a person thinks of ending his life? By thinking of ending his life, he is thinking of ending pain. I feel pain. I lost someone I love. I am sad. I am helpless. I am worthless. I don't trust others. People don't like me. All of these negative thoughts, okay, all of these negative thoughts makes a person feel pain. And he just cannot stop this pain. Yani, when something aches you, you take a medicine. If you have headache, if you have stomach ache, you take a medicine. But what if your soul aches? What is the remedy for soul? Because a person who is diagnosed with a depressive disorder or bipolar disorder, they are in pain. What is the medicine for their pain? There is no medicine for soul. When they feel lonely, especially when they grow up and their children, if they had children, their children travel, their friends die, or how to end these feelings. They think of committing suicide, because committing suicide is the only reason to finish the pain, is by finishing your life. End the pain by ending your life. And others might think that, because we said that they face feelings of sinfulness, they feel that they are full of sins, full of mistakes. So if I kill myself, I punish myself for the whole wrong deeds I've done in my life, for the wrong they think they have committed in their lives, or to punish others. A girl whose mother is not, or she feels neglected by her mother, or she feels like her mother doesn't have free time for her, she commits suicide to take revenge of her mother. You didn't watch me, you didn't care about me, so I will commit suicide to make you cry for the rest of your life. So there are many thoughts to suicide. The majority of the suicidal thoughts, the first reason is to finish or end the emotional pain, okay, and physical, and to end their loneliness, or to punish themselves or punish others. They say that women, or not they, psychiatrists say that women are twice as likely to men to experience major depression. They face major depression, women face major depression more than men, twice more than men. They say that maybe the reason is because of the hormonal changes, because we know as the woman, she get to be pregnant, and then pregnancy means the hormonal changes, and after she gives birth to the baby, she faces postpartum depression, which is caused because of the changes in the hormones, the milk hormones, and this. And they say also that more women than men attempt suicide. Okay, but more men than women succeed in their attempts. When a man decides to commit suicide, he just kills himself and dies. Okay, and this is a warning that people who threaten suicide or make unsuccessful attempts, they usually are serious about it. So if you know anyone who tried, or she talks a lot about suicide, or she has threatened about suicide, she is serious. Even if she is just making fun of it, but inside there are a percentage of her thoughts which are serious. So 70% of people who kill themselves have threatened to do this 3 months before the suicide. Okay, and they have faced unsuccessful attempts till they reach to the successful one. A few months or maybe a month ago, we heard about a woman who took an Iraqi woman who took her two a baby and a boy child and a baby girl, and she threw them in the river. Is she a normal mother? Of course not.
No.
Of course not. Not a normal act and not a normal mother. Okay, girls, so you have to understand people around you, why they act like this. Okay, mood disorders, and especially the bipolar disorder, is common at your age. Okay, and when you grow up more at college, you will see those disorders. Major depressive disorder. Here is the first one, major depressive disorder, which we call it depression. Bipolar disorder. And as we said, the seasonal affective disorder, but it is light, yani not strong. Bipolar and depressive disorder are stronger. The people who take or diagnosed with these girls should take medicines. They should take medicines to be healed. They cannot be healed by themselves. They should take medicines. Okay? You understand mood disorders, girls?
Yes, miss.
So mood disorder is the second part of schizophrenia, the second part of the section of the schizophrenia. So again, for the exam next week, dissociative disorder only, will not take the somatoform disorder, only dissociative disorder, and we will take schizophrenia, so dissociative disorder, schizophrenia, and mood disorders. These are 3 PowerPoints presentation. I upload the 3 of them, study the 3 PowerPoints, and then take the exam next week. And as we said again, schizophrenia doesn't mean to have more than one personality. Dissociative disorder means to have more than one personality.
Miss,
Okay.
are you going to write the lessons on the weekly plan or just?
It is written, of course, in the materials. They will the exam material they will send to you. But I'm telling you, frankly, the 3 last PowerPoints.
Okay.
Somatoform disorder, schizophrenia, and mood disorder. And the 3 videos are uploaded too on YouTube or on Classera. If Classera doesn't open with you, go to YouTube and search for my name, Nada Dia. You will find the videos there. If you just watch the videos, study the PowerPoints, you'll get the full mark in the exam. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, girls. Next week is your exam, girls. Okay? You'll have a nice day. Great talk.
Thank you, Miss. You too.
Thank you.
Bye, girls.